Hello and welcome to another directed draw. Today we'll be drawing sea stars. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to be teaching you guys how to draw some different kinds of starfish because there's a lot, but I'm only going to do a few. And starfish are really pretty. They have lots of funky designs and pretty designs. And so I am going to show you how to draw some of them. So the first one is that I'm going to teach you is just the regular standard looking starfish. So an easy way to do this, and before you draw it, make sure you are drawing it as light as you can. Not too light that you can't see it, but light enough that you can erase it easily because we're going to be doing a lot of erasing today. So how I like to start with a little dot just to show where I'm going to start. And we're going to draw a straight line up like this. And then we're going to draw two lines down that kind of looks like an upside down V. And then we're going to do one that goes out like this on both sides. Okay? So this will be our skeletal guide to drawing a starfish. Now I like to do I like to start at the top, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and follow that line that we drew, and we're going to stop right there, and you're going to make a little curve and then go up to the next one. So let me turn it and curve. Okay, so the ends are going to be curved, and you're going to go down and curve. Okay, and as you're doing this, you can turn your paper like I am, because it does make it easier sometimes. And basically what you're doing is you're just connecting the tips together with this V shape. It's almost like connect the dots. So this is an easy way to do it. And keep going until you've done all the lines. And it's okay if your lines aren't straight, because starfish can be bumpy. Alright, so now we have that. Kind of looks like a starfish, right? So I'm going to go ahead and erase the line inside. And if you have done this lightly, it should be easy to erase. Okay, so there's our first starfish. And if you want, you can add some little dots all inside. And starfish, if you've touched them at the aquarium or seen them at the beach in the tide pools, their skin is kind of hard and rough. And it can feel a little slimy. But usually they're pretty smooth, and their outside skin part is kind of tough. Alright, and there's your first starfish. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this one off to the side so we can go on to our next sea star. So this one, let me zoom in. This is going to be kind of similar to how we started to draw the other one. So I'm going to do that circle in the middle, or that dot. I'm going to do that line up. Whoops. Try to make your line as straight as possible. Do that upside down V, and your two lines out. Now this is very similar to how we drew the other one, except our arms are going to be a little little bit thicker and they're going to be a little more angled. So again, I'm going to start at the top, and remember it's still curved. It's not super pointy. It's slightly curved. Go down, and then it's going to be a sharp line and curve. Okay, so this shape is almost like an L shape. So that's what you're going for, except the tip is kind of curved. So you're going to do that all the way around. And remember, your arms are going to be thicker. Oops. I think I drew this one a little too close. Let me redraw this one. So this one has mostly straight lines. I'm going to change this length. This one is a little wonky looking. So again, you're curving and then it's straight. Okay. And then you can go ahead and erase our guideline. I'm not sure why my eraser isn't erasing very well. Okay. And it's okay if it doesn't look completely the same size. That's fine. And then now, for this one, I like to do a circle in the center, and then I like to do some dots around it. And then I find a dot that kind of is pointing to one of the arms, and I follow that and do more dots. Like this. Okay. And then you can add little bumps on there, like upside down V's here and there, not all of it. Just so it gives it some texture. And there you have another sea star. Go ahead and move that one out of the way. All right, so that's our second sea star. Now, this one is going to be kind of like the same one, except we're looking at it from the side. So to do that, I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to do like a funky U shape. So you're going to start here, you're going to go up, down, and flat. Okay, so again, that's an up, down, and flat. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to start right about here, and you're going to do a line out and down, so it's like a curved, and then you're going to go right here and do the same curve, except it's going to be in the opposite direction. So it's going to be like that. Then I'm going to make this one a little longer. You're going to start here, and you're going to go up, down, and out like this. So you're drawing the same shape we did at the very beginning, and these are going to be two legs of our starfish. And then from here, you're just going to connect it with a curve. Oops. Connect with a curve. I'm going to change this one a little bit because it should attach as a curve. So what that means is I'm going to curve and then kind of curve out. So it's like an S curve. And then if you want, you can do a small little V, soft V at the top, if you want. So we can see that it's flat and lying down. And then we can add some details. Now from here, I'm actually going to kind of curve it up a little bit like that. And then on the top of this line, we're just going to do a few bumps. So they're going to be upside down U's or upside down V, soft V shapes. And as they get closer to the center, they get a little bit bigger. Not too big. And you're going to go down the other side and get smaller. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. This just kind of adds a details, and it shows that it's kind of spiky and bumpy. And you can do your little circles for the bumps on the sides if you'd like. So this is how you draw a starfish from the side. Starfish are very interesting creatures because their eyes are located on the ends of their arms. Did you know that? They have tiny little dots. Those are their eyes. Okay, and don't forget to erase lines that are going through your little bumps. You can always go back and fix those. But yeah. And then the way that they eat is very interesting because their mouth is located in the center. So if you flip it over, you see all their little feet, which kind of look like little, I don't know what you would compare this to. Like their feet, but it's like this. They stick up like this. So that's how they attach onto rocks and hold on. They're very strong. But, whoops, I thought that was my eraser. But their mouth is in the dead center of the starfish. So if you flip them over, that's what you see. And the way that they eat is different than any animal because they basically take their stomach out and they wrap it around their prey, and that's how they eat it, which is really, it's weird, but it's cool. Okay, so the bottom, we can see their little feet. So you can do like U shapes, or if you want to do those little dots, lines with dots on the end, you can, whichever. I'm going to just do some U shapes. Or you can do like zigzags. Squiggly lines on the bottom. Okay. And there you have a starfish that is on its side. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and move this one aside. We've already drawn 3 different kinds of starfish, guys. Okay. So this next starfish is actually one of my favorites. I don't know why. I think it's probably because it's the first one I've ever seen. And these guys can get really, really big. They're called ochre stars. And they're super hard, and they can, I think I found one that's like bigger than my hand. That's big. So if you go down to the beach and you go during low tide and you walk along the tide pools, you can see them kind of in the water or under rocks and stuff. But the reason why you can see them so well is because they're either purple, different shades of purple, or different shades of orange. So I think they're pretty cool. They kind of look like this one, but it's a little different. So you guessed it. I'm going to draw my line as my guide, those little dots, and out like this. Now this one, the reason why I like to draw these is because they are very easy to draw. Because when you see them on rocks, they're kind of at odd shapes. Like sometimes two of their legs are together, or they're very close to one another, or they're curved. So there's no wrong way to do this, and they'll all look great. So let me move this down a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to start, instead of starting at the top this time, I'm going to start kind of right here in the middle, in between the two lines. And what I'm going to do is I'm not drawing straight lines, I'm drawing kind of wavy, curvy lines, because these guys are a little, they are really bumpy, and they have like, their legs kind of look like weird shapes. So I'm going to go ahead, start here, and basically I'm going to draw some wiggly lines. They're not going to be straight lines, they're just going to be kind of wiggly. And the tips of the starfish are always rounded. Okay, and your lines can go in and out, doesn't matter. You can make it your own. Okay, and then I'm going to start here and go out. And if you've noticed, I went past my line. So I'm not going directly to my line, or the tip of my line. I am going around. Okay. I don't know. I used to call these ogre stars because they looked kind of like very distorted looking starfish. Just because of how bumpy they were, and like just the colors, like dark purple and orange. Okay. And then you can go ahead and erase the line on the inside. Okay, so that's what they kind of look like. And then what I like to do is I like to do that little circle or dot in the center, except this time I like to do lines, and these are like squiggly lines. And then as you go out, they get shorter, like that. Okay, so then I'm going to start here, go out, and basically you're kind of making a pentagon shape in the center. Okay. And it's okay if you do like squiggly lines like that. That's fine. Okay. I think I did too many right here. And squiggle, 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 squiggle. Oops. Alright, and then here you can just do little dots. But yeah, if you're curious, you can look these up on Google Images. They're really cool looking starfish. Sometimes these guys, what they'll look like is if you have a rock, they'll attach themselves like this, which is really funny looking, but okay. Now, the last one that I'm going to teach you is called a brittle star. And brittle stars are very easy to draw. They're probably the most simple one. But they do look nothing like a starfish. It's not the traditional shape. They aren't bumpy, and they're more they look hairy looking. So we're going to draw a circle. And from that circle, there's going to be 5 legs that go out. So normally, the middle part can be like a circular shape. It can be like a pentagon shape. It can look like a regular star or like a flower. So I'll show you those different ways too. But right now I'm going to do the circle. And then what you do is you kind of make your arms kind of wavy. And they're going to kind of go in the same place as the regular starfish, like how we would draw our guide. So you'll have something that kind of looks like this. And then what you're going to do from here is we're going to make these arms a little thicker. So I'm going to go back and make them thicker. It's thinner at the tip. So thicker at the bottom, thinner up at the top. And these guys come in all sorts of different colors. The ones that I've seen are bright orange. And they're very, very cool looking. If you ever see these at the tide pools, you don't want to touch them. Not because they'll hurt you or anything like that, or they're dangerous. It's just that they are very brittle. And that's why they're called brittle stars. So they have these arms, and these arms fall off really easily. So if you touch one of these arms, it's going to fall off. That's why they're called brittle stars. And they look very brittle. So, and then from here, once you're finished thickening up your arms, you're going to go ahead and do some short lines coming out from all the arms. Like that. You can have one sticking out at the top. But these guys look really cool. And I think they have these a lot at the aquarium, so try to look for them if you ever go. Okay, so that's what they look like. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make another one of these. I'm going to shrink this one and move it to the side. I'll put this one over here. Now for this one, let me go ahead and shrink this one. Okay, bring this one back. Now for the middle part, I was going to tell you guys how to change it. So some of them look like stars. And so what you do is you're just putting that upside down soft V at every open spot. Okay? So to do that, go up and down, up and down, And every open spot you're adding that soft V. And then you just erase the circle. Like that. And then you can kind of change the shape of this if you want. And there you go. So some of them look like that, kind of. And they might have more hair on the arms, or less, or shorter, longer. There's another one that looks a little different. So let me go ahead and move this one off to the side. Okay. Go ahead and copy this one. I'll move that over here. And then the flower one, we're going to do the same thing, except if we're not going to draw the soft V, we're going to draw a upside down U shape. So the way that I do that is you're going to go right here and go out and in like this. And you're going to meet in the center each time. Whoops, that's big. Try to keep your flower petals small, and then we're going to go ahead and go inside and erase all of this. And I'm actually going to erase some of these lines in the middle. And then you kind of do a rounded little curve like that. And then you can do some upside down teardrop shapes in each one. And then they have some circles on the inside. Like that. Okay. So those are 3 different kinds of brittle stars. I just think they're cool. Sometimes some of them have more than 5 arms. So, and these guys can get very, very long too. Their arms can become very long. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this directed draw lesson on how to draw some starfish. I hope you guys learned something new, and hope you had fun. So, as always, I hope you guys stay safe, stay healthy, make sure you wash your hands, and I will see you next time. Bye!